Apollo's getting good at their job. This is the Apollo Go. This has got to be one of the best value scooters I've seen in a while. It costs $1,200 and it's just jam-packed full with a ton of stuff that I'm gonna go over throughout the review. But first, I want to talk about why these guys are getting good at their job. The reason is in here. This is the accessories that come with the scooter. I've never seen any company do this. Let me just show you what's in here. First, there's a hand pump, which comes with the hose. It's working good. Sorry, Tiny. You got a wrench, 2 caps for the blinkers on the handlebars. Why? There's an Allen wrench set, a quad lock adapter, which I'll talk about in just a minute. This is what I wanted to get to. In this bag is every screw, nut, bolt that you need to fix your scooter. And they're all numbered 13, 14, 8, 11, 5, 17. You get the point. And then you have this. This is the screw list. It shows you where they go in the scooter. So if any screw, anything falls out, you are covered. Apollo, well done. All you other scooter companies, do this. This is good. Gotta pick up my mess now. Before I take off and head out into the heat, I wanna start by showing you the lights. Shut this. Once I turn it on, tail light lights up, and I am liking that tail light design. That is pretty awesome. It wraps around from side to side, and it's very bright. You can see it reflecting off the fender. When you hit the brake lever, that does flash. Now that was the drum brake, but it also flashes when you hit the regen lever. And then if you hit the M button on the left side just once, that'll turn on the headlight. Double tap it, that turns on this very bright stem light. A lot of companies are starting to add these, and that's a good trend. I like a lot of lights. There's turn signals. Hit the right side. Of course, this lights up. There's a beeping, and that's gonna shut off in about 5 seconds. That's the left blinker, which is cool, and then it's gonna shut off here in a second and then just go back to red. The LCD screen is pretty cool. First off, it's built into the scooter, but it just looks like all Pac-Man-y, especially when you hit the blinker. It's like little Pac-Mans traveling to find little ghosts and goblins to eat. If you move down to this piece, this is the quad lock. And when you use it, it covers up the screen. This comes with an app and it will show you how fast you're going and all the things that you typically see on an LCD screen on a scooter. I want to give you a demo of how this works. Now I bought this phone case, which has this piece built into it, but you don't have to do that. You can just take your normal case, grab this piece. This is the quad lock adapter. There's some sticky tape on there, so you just peel that off and then stick it on there. So you just line it up, do a half twist, and that locks on there, and that ain't moving. Let's give it a test. I think we're good. In the app, you can also change the acceleration power from 1 to 100 and the regenerative braking from 1 to 100. I think all the garage stuff is done. It is time to brave the elements. It's you and me, son. It's you and me. Well, the first thing I want to talk about are the brakes, because a lot of scooters don't have a separate regen lever. And if they do, they don't work that well. But Apollo's been working on this regen brake thing for a couple years. I attended a show a couple years ago in California, and they were the first scooter to actually have a separate regen lever. And at the time, they didn't work that well, but things have changed. When you have them set to the highest level, they feel like regular disc brakes. You got some really good stopping power. Now you also have a drum brake in the rear, so if you need a quicker stop, you have that option. But I wouldn't use that if you can help it, because the regen brakes will charge up your battery up to 10%, and that equates to about 3 to 5 miles. So you have a range rating of 25 to 30 miles, so just extend that by 3, maybe 4, possibly 5 miles if you just use the regens the entire time. Now you have an identical lever on the other side, which is of course the throttle. Both those levers feel really nice. They're a little bit thicker of a paddle too, so just easier to use. You can rest more of your thumb on it. When you press that throttle all the way down, you got a pretty poppy takeoff. Ooh, a little tire spin, and yeah, it gets up and goes. For a $1,200 scooter, I'd say it's actually one of the fastest off the line. And one of the reasons for that, it only weighs 46 pounds. One thing that's pretty cool about these guys that I've never seen before is they have a push button release. Bam, there we go. And then this connector piece that connects to the rear of the scooter is magnetized. Just some small things that I thought were neat. Oh, and then it also has this rubber piece that just gives you an extra measure of safety to hold that locking mechanism together. These guys have pretty much thought of it all. Now there's two things that really surprised me when I hopped on and went for a ride. The first is the speed, which tops out at 33 miles per hour. Yeah, most scooters in this price range are struggling to hit 30. The second is the power for hills. This is an 18% grade, starting at the steepest part, and it's going. All right, so there's actually one more, and that is the suspension. They've got some new suspension technology that they're calling airflow, and that suspension gives you 2 inches of travel. As far as comfort, ride and feel, just the overall quietness and solidness of the ride, 10 out of 10. These guys did an awesome job on that. Now, where these guys struggled is in the cockpit. The handlebar length doesn't match the power of the scooter. Prefer it to be maybe like another 2 or 3 inches longer. The other thing is the space between the grip and the regen lever. Because the handlebars are so short, I'm grabbing further out to increase my stability. My thumb can barely reach that lever. Rather than if I was here, then it's easy. Just found myself having to scoot my hand over to use the brakes. The other thing is there's a little bit of shaking in the front wheel when I use the regen brakes. It's almost like they dialed in the braking for the front wheel a little too much. It's only happened a couple times, but it did happen, so I figured I'd mention it. Now, a few more things that I did like. I like where they put the charge port. It's got a spring to it. And then check out the sleekness of the deck. It just looks nice and smooth. I like that single piece. Then you got a hole here to carry it when it's folded. The kickstand is huge. I feel like that's built for a scooter 3 times this weight. I just visited my notes and noticed I looked at a couple things. I'll go back to the tires because it's worth mentioning that they are puncture resistant. And then the last thing is the battery charge cycle. They say you can charge this up to 600 times. If you want to check out any more of Apollo scooters, every single model that I reviewed of theirs is just awesome. I've done the Ghost, I've done the Phantom. I'll have them up here on the screen somewhere, so go check those out. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.